my name is Dr. Brett Davies. So we have a letter here from one of our users of our website. It says, "Dear Dr. Davies, I enjoy your training videos, and you've said over and over again that there are death taxes or de facto death taxes. I have telephoned the Australian Taxation Office and they said there are no de facto death duties and they were all abolished by 1981. Kind regards." Well, first thing you should do is not contact the Australian Taxation Office. They are not your friends. They may be required to act as public servants, but generally they do not act as public servants. You have three friends. They are called your accountant, your financial planner, and your taxation lawyer. You telephone and contact those people if you want advice. You do not contact the opposition. The Australian Taxation Office put out private rulings and lots of statements. A lot of them are wrong. In fact, you look back through history, you'll find about half the time that you go to court against the Australian Taxation Office, they lose in the Administrative Appeals Tribunal. So these people are not the people that you elect to create legislation. They are interpreters of legislation. So please don't get hung up over what the Australian Taxation Office tell you. Talk to people that are on your side. The accountant, the advisor and the tax lawyer. They're the people that will protect you. Now, Paul Keating also, in 1985, when he introduced capital gains tax, he also said the similar thing that the Australian Taxation Office will tell you, and that is that, Dr. Davies is a big talker about death duties, but there aren't any, because by 1981, all probate and death duties in every state were abolished. And now when you die, there are no death duties. It's not true. It's not true. There is no death duties, but there's three de facto death duties, and they are income tax, stamp duty, which is a state tax, and capital gains tax. Let's look at a joint tenancy asset. So you bought something in before 1981, before 1985, and it's a joint tenancy. It's mum and dad have half a block of land by the sea, beautiful piece, and dad dies. Because it's owned as joint tenants, it immediately goes to mum. But dad's half now is not treated as joint tenancy under the Income Tax Assessment Act, it's treated as tenants in common. So now that piece of property goes into mum's name, and from this point on, it's now subject to capital gains tax growth. So it becomes a capital gains tax asset. And when mum comes to sell it 30 years after dad died, she'll have paid capital gains on the increase, not on her half, because that's pre-85. There's hundreds of these examples where you are going to get caught with capital gains tax. Now, the majority of people that pay, over 85% of capital gains tax in deceased estates is from middle class people, not from the wealthy and not from the poor. It's the middle class mugs that aren't poor and aren't rich that will predominantly pay capital gains tax. It'll be your children. You will leave a property, let's say there's a factory. You'll leave that factory to your three children, and if there is a CGT, let's say there's a capital gain of $800,000 on that, it doesn't get wiped at death. The children inherit the factory together with the capital gains tax liability. The property, the factory, is pregnant with a capital gain. It goes to your three children, they want to liquidate the position, they sell it or they give the property away. Capital gains tax is triggered and they now have an $800,000 capital gain they have to deal with. So, Mr. ATO, there is de facto death duties. It's capital gains tax, it's income tax, and it's stamp duty. And people are sick and tired of it. You can fight back. You are currently drafting a single will, which is tax effective with choices, and that will do its highest possible chance of washing out these capital gains taxes. Division 6AA, there's an exemption under Section 102AG. The children and your great-grandchildren, your 6-month-old babies can get pay tax at adult rate thresholds. There's lots of great things in this tax effective will. So enjoy the drafting, fight back, reclaim the night. And if you want some advice, speak to your advisor, your accountant, your tax lawyer. Don't speak to the regulator.